a lot of the stuff we talked about today, if you tune into the corporate media, you hear this constantly. All the stuff we talked about today, they're talking about that nonstop there. I mean, MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, they're very concerned about police brutality over there. They're doing what they can to help. They're really, in fact, for instance, check this out. This happened in my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Look at this. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette removes protests and police brutality stories from website following protests from union members. Oh, and what union are they referring to? That union we talked about earlier.
Yes.
The police union.
Because they're afraid of them.
Yeah.
They're afraid of the police, so they are being bullied.
It's amazing. And it's just the biggest whataboutism someone can throw at, like someone like left-leaning people. Like, hey, Ron, you're pretty pro-union, right? Yes, I am. Police unions? All right, touche. Yeah, I get it. Isn't that amazing? It's like we have this, even right now, we have this completely complicit media.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. They're afraid. And not just, I'm sorry, honey, go ahead. No.
And then on top of that, we're also seeing police officers just openly abusing journalists on camera. I mean, yeah, it's crazy.
And they're abusing I saw one video of this white woman who looked like a Barbie doll, and they were just pelting her with rubber bullets, and she was on the ground. And it's like, wow, they're even attacking pretty white girls now on TV, in front of cameras. I wasn't expecting to see her being shot like that. You know what I mean? So it's they're afraid.
They're gonna try to uphold the system at all costs.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing. I mean it's absolutely amazing that they're still, and it's like if you're not outraged, I mean, and everyone, to kind of just hammer home the theme that we've talked about a lot today. Everyone, it's like people are so scared of a complete reinvention in law enforcement. And it's like, if not now, when? And I know that's a cliche, but that's the ultimate question. If not now, when? Because, you can say, well, that sounds idealistic and radical, and that sounds unrealistic to completely reinvent the concept of law enforcement in our country. And it's like, what's more unrealistic? What's more unrealistic is that we can continue this status quo of racist brutality. We can't. We just can't. And it's also unrealistic to think that this system can reform itself. That cops are going to do better. How many chances have they been given for how many decades?
Yeah.
I mean, what have we learned since 92? Anything?
Yeah. Well, the police did an investigation and determined that everything was fine. So, they put out a nice report that said, yeah, everything's fine. They're doing everything right.
Well, there are videos of them dancing, so there is that.
Oh,
there's videos. Which, I mean, I know, I shared some of that stuff, and the reason I shared it is not to say, because the reason I see value in it is not to say, look, guys, there's some good cops, they're dancing. No, the opposite. What I see value in is being able to look at that and say, notice how when they put down their weapons and just listen for a freaking second, what happens? No violence. Notice when they stay away, what happens? No violence. So who's inciting the violence?
Yeah.
I'll give you one guess, because this is an easy one. It's like when you have a consistency rate of about 100%, that, when police don't instigate violence, it doesn't happen. When police don't show up, violence doesn't happen. What trend are you noticing here?
Yeah, even with drugs, right? It's police that make it a big violent situation. Every country that stopped using police to respond to drug use or selling drugs, the drug use went down and drug addiction went down. So Portugal did that, where they had one of the highest drug use rates in the world, because they're suffering, and then they stopped using any law enforcement to deal with drug use or selling drugs or anything to do with drugs, and they reallocated that money into programs for like social services for people using drugs, and their drug addiction rate dropped so dramatically that now they're like a leader in the world for that. So, you know what I mean? So even that is a big thing that people are always using police for, and it just doesn't do any help. It just makes the situation so much worse.
Yeah. Well, and that goes into like just another just powerful concept, which, obviously we don't have time to like dive into today, but like just the concept of like our penal system does not help people at all. Like it does not. And we treat people with addictions like criminals instead of treating them as people who are sick and need help. I mean, but it's all connected to this, brutality of law enforcement. And it goes into the for-profit prison system, and it goes into, the crime bill. It goes into, I mean, all these things are connected.
Right? Bail is just the money racket, right? Like, the majority of people sitting in jails right now in America have not even been convicted of a crime, right? More than half. It's just they couldn't afford bail.
Yeah.
It's in their best interest to escalate every situation and, harsher sentences and more surveillance and militarized police, because they keep doing this, then people will notice, oh, we don't actually need all this stuff, we don't actually need this system.
It's a way that they make money. It's a way for the government, the city, the town, the county, they make money off of people who are in prison. They make money from their bails, from their legal fees.
Well, and the other scary thing, they create a demand for it. When you have a capitalistic society and you create a demand for prisoners, you're going to want those bloodthirsty psychopaths out there. That's who you want out there, because they're going to give you those prisoners, because they're going to, again, getting back to that thread, they're manufacturing crime.
Yeah.
What if we renamed every force crime manufacturers? Imagine how people would react.
Crime Manufacturers Inc.
Yeah, there you go. Crime Manufacturers Inc.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our